Alright guys, Ekman18 here. Welcome back to TZM TV, Channel 18. And it's time for me to do another surprise video. I know I haven't done one in a while. But first off, before I announce what this surprise is, I've got the Tour Viewer 24 with me.
Hey guys.
This is going to be kind of a two surprises. First of all, if you guys didn't know yet, me and Cody are huge fans of the awesome show NCIS. And guess what? Their 200th episode is going to be coming up next week, not this week. But thanks to that, they're on the front cover of TV Guide magazine.
Yep.
NCIS Forever, exclusive secrets of the 200th episode. So on the cover here we have Michael Weatherly, who plays Tony, Cote DePablo, who plays Ziva, and Sean Murray, who plays McGee. So I'll go ahead and show you what's inside. And I'll go ahead and read the article to you guys. Also, I wanted to show you guys this too. It's this M&M ad. So I guess they're going to be announcing a new M&M, the Miss Brown. So I guess they're going to have a brown M&M animated character. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Check this huge picture out. The whole cast here. It's in confetti, and they're celebrating their 200th episode. NCIS, no curbing its success. The CBS Hits cast looks back on 200 episodes and ahead to the future of TV's #1 show. So here is Mark Harmon, who plays Gibbs, Rocky Carroll, who plays Leon Vance, Polly Perrette, who plays Abby Shudo. Here's Brian Dietzen, who plays Mr. Palmer, and here's David McCallum, who plays Ducky. Tony, Ziva, and McGee, like I said, on the front cover. And I'll go ahead and read you guys the article. First of all, here's them. So one of Southern California's peculiar midwinter heat waves is keeping things toasty on this early January afternoon. So the setting isn't particularly conducive to sudden chills, but you might get one down the spine anyway if you're visiting the NCIS set, since the whole damn soundstage is spook-infested. Darby Stanchfield is making one of her rare appearances on the series, rare because her character, Shannon Gibbs, got killed 20 years ago. So basically who Shannon Gibbs was Gibbs' first wife. He's been married 3 times, I believe, and divorced 3 times. Which, if you're doing the math, is more than a decade before NCIS even began. Nonetheless, she's a critical specter in the show's folklore, as the first wife, Jethro Gibbs, has never gotten over. Facing him now on a diner set, I'll go ahead and show you the picture right here, with her equally deceased daughter beside her. So here's his first wife, and there's his daughter, and there's Gibbs. This angelic redhead is trying to convince TV's most haunted hero that his life hasn't been so tragic. She says, if we hadn't died, you never would have become an agent, tearfully going on to mention the lives he's saved as a direct result of his family being murdered. George Billy, won't you please come home? Life before his eyes is Gibbs's It's a Wonderful Life episode. So I guess they're talking about what it's going to be about, in which he has a moment of mortal terror and imagines a series of alternate reality scenarios that reveal what all the characters' lives might be like if he'd made a few different decisions along the way. That's the kind of out-there gambit that in the wrong hands might be as much cause for shark-jumping as tear-jerking. But this risk would only have been attempted on an occasion as special as NCIS's 200th episode. It's ironic that the show would harp so repeatedly and poignantly on the theme of roads not taken, when this exceedingly rare numerical milestone points to just how few wrong turns NCIS has taken on the way to becoming TV's #1 scripted show. Not to dissuade any newcomers from tuning in on February 7th, which is going to be when the 200th episode comes up, but Michael Weatherly said, who plays Tony, he says it's going to be such a reward for the fans who have watched all the episodes. Of course, NCIS can afford to do one just for the families, presuming that most of the 20 million first-run viewers every week count in that category, along with however many millions more are tuning into the seemingly non-stop cable reruns. I love watching the reruns on USA Network. Expect to see dead people like Muse Watson's Mike Franks, which was killed off at the end of last season, but also some longer-buried former foils. I think they'll be surprised by seeing the face of someone like Ziva's brother, Ari. If you guys remember, Ari was one of those big terrorists from the show. Do you remember Ari, Cody?
Yep.
who killed Kate back in season 2.
Uh-huh.
And referring to a bad guy who was escorted off this mortar coil, and they killed him at the beginning of season 3. Mark Harmon, who plays Gibbs, says it's a hard thing to move characters along who exited this show by ceasing to exist. He's clearly happy to have his old ally Watson back on the set, and even the scheming frenemy played by Michael O'Neill, who was also off last season. Not to say that everybody who shows up here is somebody who died, which is what Gibbs pointed out. As John Lennon would sing, some are dead and some are living in this otherworldly doppelganger-filled diner. Sean Murray, who plays McGee, is passing through the set with darker colored, differently combed hair. A tip-off that even the regulars like McGee are experiencing alternate realities in Gibbs's Fantasia. Murray says, I love doing this sort of surreal, dreamlike stuff. The episode is about what if things had been done differently? What if Abby and McGee were married? Insert a pause here as all of NCIS fandom gasps. So one of those rumors is going around that Abby and McGee might get married. It could be true, but we never know. As for Tiva, which basically means Tony and Ziva together, they are meant to be together. Don't you agree with me, Cody?
Yep.
Tony and Ziva. Kota Pablo, who plays Ziva, says, in my particular reality of the 200th episode, I never became an NCIS agent. That's because her predecessor, Agent Kate Todd, never got gunned down, so no need for an Israeli import replacement. Tony does have a vague recollection of catching sight of Ziva 7 years ago, but the next time we meet is now, and I've been running different missions all over Europe, and it's old Ziva, loud and in your face. It's a great scene just between Michael and me with the original tension all over again. So it poses the question, is the attraction inevitable? And it kind of is. Tony and Ziva might get back together. Because they were together in season 3 for a little bit, right? Was it like season 3? Something like that. Was NCIS's ascent to number 1 just inevitable too? It was to former Man from U.N.C.L.E. star David McCallum, who plays our good friend Ducky. He said that after we'd been on the air for a while and we're within the top 15, I said we're going to number 1, and everyone said yeah, and now we've been number 1 for the last 3 years. Other cast members had their doubts about ever reaching season 2. Mike Weatherly, who plays Tony, he says that I didn't really think NCIS was going to amount to much. When he was approached, it seemed to me a perhaps derivative spin-off of the CSI thing. I figured that we'll make a few more episodes, but I did get a sense right off the bat working with Harmon that he was a cagey veteran who seemed to know the direction in which we should head all the time. Polly Perrette, who plays the DNA analyst Abby, was unsure about taking on a military-themed show in the wake of 9/11. Because of the gung-ho aggression she saw in the country at the time. She says, I have strong political beliefs and there has to be a lot of thought when you're going into a military show in wartime. But I think we've been incredibly responsible with this show. Her other fear was about the series' procedural structure and the stodginess that usually comes with that. She says, Weatherly and I did our famous pinky shake where we said that no matter what, every episode we're going to bring the funny, and we have. The second half of this season will also bring plenty of event episodes. Cody and all other NCIS fans, listen to this. Episode number 201, so the one after this, it'll cast Entourage's Mrs. Ari. So Perry Reeves, who plays Tony's ex-fiance, and number 202, set to feature the first of a few appearances by Harmon's Freaky Friday co-star, Jamie Lee Curtis, as a potential love interest for Gibbs. Also making an appearance in number 200, I thought this was really funny, Jimmy Palmer's abs, played by Brian Dietzon's not-so-geeky torso. The bachelor party and wedding of Palmer, the show's one romantically content character, will be the focus of the season finale, surely throwing the other characters' loneliness into sharper focus. But some minds are thinking much further ahead than this season's finale. Harmon says that it doesn't feel like we've been here 9 years. The actors are still excited. The writers are still excited. The crew is still excited. The network is certainly excited. Rocky Carroll, a.k.a. Director Vance, brings it back to numbers. The running joke is now we're halfway to 400. A slightly more serious number was recently cited on set. Michael Weatherly says that the network heads came by for a celebratory cake, and CBS Entertainment President Nina Tassler said, "We'll see you at the 300th cake cutting." If you guys want to see a picture of the 200th episode cake cutting, go to cbs.com/NCIS. They'll have a picture of it. I saw it the other day. So go check that out. Sounding suddenly weary, he laughs. It was like, what? That's 4.5 years from now. I mean, believe me, I have a lot of fun, but that's longer than a presidential term. And Perret says, and I said, yay, perfect. 300, yep, 400, we'll see. But we all have the same feeling that the 100th episode was last season, not back in 2007. We scratch our heads looking at the calendar. Not surprisingly, Perret is the cast member most religiously devoted to NCIS marathons on USA Network. She says, not only would I not be doing this job I love, but I'm such a fan that I would be as devastated as anyone if NCIS was not on the air. Like, what happened to my show? I get really attached to TV shows. 20 million fans know exactly what she means. And to finish off this surprise video, let me go ahead and check the time on my camera, okay? We're going to go ahead and I'm going to read you some of the cast's favorite episodes. I can actually go on the computer right here, and we can look at their favorite episodes. Let's just go to tvguide.com/magazine. And I'll go ahead and read you some of the stars' favorite episodes. Michael Weatherly, who plays Tony, was his favorite episode was the episode called Dead Man Talking. It was back in season 1. He says that could be the first episode that was a true blending of all the elements. The first where you could say that's an NCIS episode. It starts when one of our special agents gets gutted in an elevator. We go to the crime scene and his entrails are out. It's grim, and within one act I'm undercover tracing a transvestite who I end up making up within a bar. It's hijinks galore. Brian Dietzen, who plays Jimmy, his favorite was Requiem. I can actually show you a picture from the episode Requiem. There it is. That was one of my favorites too. It's back in season 5. It's one where Mark and Michael spent a lot of time underwater in a water tank in a car. Since I wasn't even in it, I just got to sit back and be a fan of the show. Anytime you get into Gibbs's backstory, his history, I'm such a sucker for it. And David McCallum, who plays as Ducky, his favorite episode is wait a minute, let me just check something on here. Okay. Yeah, his favorite was the one called My Other Left Foot, which was from season 1. There's a scene where I'm carrying a leg, and I talk about the film My Left Foot. After a long dissertation on my part, Gibbs finally says, "Ducky, that's a right foot." That scene really established a style we've used in the autopsy room ever since. Oops, hold on a second. Let me check the time on the camera. I just don't want to go over 15 minutes. So yeah, Polly Perret's favorite was Bloodbath back in season 3. One of my favorites, but it was one of the hardest ones for me to do because Abby's getting stalked, and I've been hideously stalked in my real life. That's like bringing my home life to work. I was scared in the beginning, but it ended up being really cathartic to play it. Sean Murray was favorite was Kill Ari, which was a 2-part episode. This 2-parter took place right after Kate's death. Something about those 2 episodes rings well with me in terms of the tone, where it was dark and almost everything was set at night, and it was raining with us feeling the aftermath of one of our fellow agents being killed. And finally, Cote de Pablo favorite was Undercovers back in season 3. I can show you. There's a picture right there. And this is basically when Tony and Ziva were together. It was the first time that Michael and I sort of had this sexual tension thing fulfilled. Well, was it fulfilled? I don't know, but there was actually something the fans could hold on to, and that was a fun to play a sort of Mr. and Mrs. Smith episode. If you guys want to check out more of the cast's favorite episodes, go to tvguide.com/magazine. Thanks for watching this special surprise video. I'm Zachman18, Torvir24, and I'll see you guys in my next video.